setup, and also because I've been Zwifting and using turbo trainers for what, like 3 years I think now. And so in that time I figured out the stuff that I think is best to splurge on and the best places that you can actually save money if you're wanting to kind of get the ultimate Zwift like winter setup. So let's talk about the turbo, because that is the core of turbo training. And the trainer that I use is the Wahoo Kicker, and honestly, definitely splurge your money on the trainer, because that is obviously the core of what you're doing. And I've tried quite a few different ones, and the Wahoo Kicker, in my opinion, is the best one that I've tried. And the reason for that is it's really quiet and it just feels quite realistic, and it's been really reliable, and they're the main things that you want. I mean, you can get ones where you leave the wheel on, but for me, because I live in an apartment, I want something that's quiet, and they are a little bit noisier, and I don't know, I just don't feel like they feel as good. Obviously you can get some really good ones. I think there's a Kicker Snap, but for me personally, I think save the money and spend it on either the Kicker or the Kicker Core. Kicker Core just doesn't go, I think the main differences between those two, I mean, they're both direct drive, which means that you take the wheel off. But yeah, the main difference I think between those two are, I don't think the Core goes as high power. I mean, it's like, I don't know, 1500 watts or something. And I don't think the gradients go as steep, but it's very negligible. I can never say that word, negligible. So yeah, I would go splurge on the turbo. Right, let's talk about the stand, because you can get some very expensive, fancy stands to put your TV or your laptop or whatever on. I don't. This is where I save money. My computer is basically just perched on the end of my desk. And the reason that I don't have a table is because I've got a table right there. I don't need to spend the money on a fancy table like that. I like that it's just quick, it's already there, I don't need to store it anywhere. So definitely for me, I would save money on the table. Saying that as well, I also save money on a monitor. So for me, because again, like I live in an apartment, I've not got loads of space, I like just using my computer. I don't need to spend money on a huge monitor. My computer works just fine for me. So that for me, I would save money on the monitor and on the stand, because I just think this works perfectly well for me. Next thing I think is very important is the fan. And right, I reckon this varies whether you splurge or save on a fan. If you are into Zwift racing, if you are into like really pushing hard on Zwift and you want to get like the best possible times you can ever get on, say, climbs or races, or you're training, splurge on a fan. I have used a cheaper fan, the Honeywell one, which is pretty much what everybody uses, which was 30 quid. Absolutely fine. However, I actually got sent the Headwind by Wahoo. Oh my God, it is absolutely phenomenal. And I tried this the first time when I was in Australia in January this year. And it's their summer, it was hot. And that, honestly, then I was like, oh my God, this fan, I need to get one of these fans because it's so good. But I think they've been sold out quite a lot of the year, because obviously everyone's been in lockdown and they've been Zwifting and turboing. But the reason that I like it, one, is that the air that you get from it is very cold. And so, it just feels like, when you're actually outside and you get kind of like the cold air, it feels like that. And also the reason that that's important if you're racing, is because it will lower your heart rate. So the cooler that you are, the lower your heart rate is, so it means you can push harder. Yeah, I would definitely, if you are into racing, splurge on a good fan like that. However, if you're kind of like just a social rider and you don't really want to do loads of racing, and you just want to pull around, you're not really doing it for like lots of training, maybe just doing it just for the social side of it, then I think the Honeywell, like the 30 quid fans, are perfect for that. I use those for God, years, and they were fine. But it was just for the racing when you're really going for it and if you're doing like set training plans, then I would splurge on the fan. So yeah, the fan, save or splurge depending on what you want to use Zwift for. Music. So how I listen to music on it. I guess this could be, again, depending on your own preference, but for me, I use, I think you've got them on now, I use, they're called Aero Packs. Disclaimer, they did send them me maybe 2 years ago now, but they're just like wireless earphones that like bone conduction. So they sent them to use on the road actually, because you can still hear traffic because they're not actually in your ears. But I really like them for Zwift because obviously I can kind of still hear what's going on around, and they're wireless, so you've not got any wires or anything. And again, because I'm in an apartment, I don't want to have my music blaring and like annoying all the neighbours. So, sorry, I'm going up a climb, Jesus. So yeah, that's another little splurge if you don't want cables and you don't want a speaker, or you've got like family and you don't want them to hear your playlist. Like if you've got terrible taste in music and you're just like, I need to keep this just for me. Because I like a bit of One Direction. I don't think everyone would love to be hearing One Direction at full pelt while I'm Zwift racing. Anyway, let's get back to the Zwift setup. Also, another thing that I guess save on is my table with all like my drinks and like snacks and stuff if I want to do a long event. I literally use like I think it's like a £3 IKEA stool. So I just pull that in, use it, that's all you need. Yeah, the two main things to splurge for me are the fan and the turbo, because they really are the main things, and they're what actually make it feel a lot more lifelike. If you've got any like hacks or money saving tips for an epic Zwift setup, leave them in the comments, and yeah, I'll have a look through. Maybe I'll pick a winner. You're not going to win anything apart from, I will pin your post on the comments so everyone will see your comment at the top. Right, I'll see you next video. Also, I'm not sponsored by IKEA either for this £3 incredible stool. I thought I'd better just share that though, just in case you think that I'm being sponsored, to share the quality of this IKEA stool. I am not.